Morning, everyone. As promised, this is the video for the Australian coating NXTZEN 365 Pro. It's a sprayable coating. And like I said, it comes from Australia. I was contacted a few months back by Anthony Orozco, who is the director of detailer training. He's the answer guy for anybody that has questions about NXTZEN. And not only that, he is a co-owner of NXTZEN USA, the importer of this coating. Well, anyway, he contacted me a few months ago, asked if I would be interested in testing this coating. I said, sure, why not? So he sent me a package containing the 365 Pro, a ceramic spray sealant, which is to be used after the maintenance washes once the coating's been applied and cured, and an interior protectant spray. The obviously I won't be doing the spray sealant or the spray ceramic anytime soon, because at this moment it's 30 some degrees. Probably too cold to actually be using this stuff, but in all honesty, I put the first coat on yesterday when it was maybe 2 degrees warmer. And surprisingly, despite the cold, it performed flawlessly. I wanted to get some experience with the coating before going live in public with it. And I can tell you that I'm not sure how the cold affects anything. I know if it's supposed to flash, I don't think it's doing that because of the cold. It's just not warm enough for it to flash. However, it's still applied extremely easily and removed even easier. Actually, it's probably one of the easiest surface protectants that I've ever used. I mean, I'll be doing my wife's car eventually, and most likely my mother-in-law's car. Of course, when the weather is a whole lot warmer. So I'll be able to test it again then and see how it does in more normal temperatures. But for right now, I'm going to demonstrate on the hood the application and removal. I talked to Anthony extensively over the phone, and he said that unlike other coatings where you do a small section, wait 30 seconds, and then buff it off and look for high spots, he has actually done an entire car, applied it, and then gone back and removed it with no issues. I can personally kind of attest to that because when I did this yesterday, roughly 24 hours ago, I forgot that I had applied it to the passenger side of the roof. And I got to it maybe 10 minutes later. And I had absolutely no issues with high spots, streaking, smearing, nothing. It came off like I had timed it and done everything textbook. It comes in a 150 milliliter bottle, which translates roughly to 5 ounces. And Anthony told me that one bottle he's able to get about 10 cars out of. And doing the math, which I hate doing, that equals about 15 milliliters per car. In English, that's about 3 teaspoons worth of product to do an entire car. I can also kind of personally attest to that one because I did the entire Camaro and I maybe used that much. I probably used a little bit more than 15 milliliters or 3 tablespoons or teaspoons. But still, I'm going to get at least 7 to 9 cars out of this one bottle. 7 to 9 applications. So figure they recommend that after, or they suggest that you apply the coating, buff it off, give it at least 2 hours before you would apply a second coating or a second layer. So this has been 24 hours roughly because I figured the cold might affect the curing process some and I wanted to give it a little extra time. Also, unlike other coatings that say no soaps or chemicals for a week, 7 days, this only this only requires 24 hours before you can wash it. So that's a benefit in case, you happen to coat your car, let it cure, go out and it starts dumping rain on you and you splash through mud puddles and get the car nasty again. You don't have to suffer through a dirty car for a week. You just got to wait 24 hours. It comes in a pump sprayer, which I think is a lot more convenient than most coatings that come in a glass bottle where you have to dribble out onto the applicator and not have complete control over how much you're using. This pump sprayer puts out a very short burst. They recommend 1 to 2 on the applicator. For this one, I'm using a brand new microfiber UFO looking applicator and brand new microfiber towels that I picked up at Harbor Freight, really cheap. The towels and the applicators, although they are both brand new, were put in the washing machine with distilled white vinegar to clear out any residues from the manufacturing or handling that might have gotten into the fabrics. Since this is a new applicator, I'm going to be doing 3 or 4 short bursts into the pad to prime it. That will be more than enough to easily do half the hood and probably a good portion of the second half. For the second half of the hood, I'm going to use 2 sprays, finish it off, and then when I'm done with that, I'm going to go right ahead and remove it. Then I will shut the camera down, finish the car, and if it ever gets daylight around here, I'll pull the car out of the garage and get you some sunlight or at least bright day photos or a short video walk around to the car after it's completed. So give me 1 second, I'll get this stuff ready and we'll get going. Okay, yesterday I found out that it only took 2 towels about this size for removal because there is very little left on the paint once you buff it in. Set that right there for now. Here's the coating. You can see the little pump sprayer on top. And here's the UFO applicator. So I'll take this, and they do highly recommend that you shake the bottle well before using. They also sent a bottle of, I can't remember what the name of the stuff is, but I think it's like an activator for the coating. You shake the little bottle real well, then you shake the bottle of coating real well, mix the two together, and shake it real well again. But they always recommend to shake the bottle before using it to make sure everything's suspended and mixed around like it's supposed to be. Also, unlike other coatings, they recommend that you remove the sprayer, flush it with rubbing alcohol and then hot water, put the metal cap back on the bottle, and store it in the refrigerator. That alone tells me that there's something different about this coating. The closest one I can compare it to, because I can't find really anything on the internet about NXTZEN or any of their coatings. I can find their website, I can find some short videos they made, but I haven't seen anything anywhere from anybody showcasing this stuff. So I'm pretty sure it's very new to the USA, and Anthony must have some extreme confidence in his product because he basically picked me at random from a detailing message board. You know, I'm nobody. I'm just one of thousands of people out there who are concerned about the car care and everything else. He picked me to test his product. Now, to just randomly pick some guy out of the country, out of thousands, and say, try this and give me an honest opinion of what you think, post it on YouTube, post it on the detailing message boards, just give it an honest shot and be honest about your findings and your results. I mean, that shows some real extreme confidence in what he's selling. So we'll take the pad. For short bursts, you can see that wasn't very much product at all. And we'll start with the driver's side of the hood. I can definitely tell you that this time around, since there's already one layer of this coating on here, application is even easier than before because it's just gliding across the surface. It was a touch grabby yesterday for the initial coat, and I'm only going off label against instructions on one thing. NXTZEN says that you can use any polish that you want for paint correction or enhancement before using the coating, but they were pretty insistent that you use a panel wipe, alcohol-based panel wipe, to remove any silicones or oils that the polish might have left on the paint. I didn't do that. What I did is I did my research, and I just put out a video yesterday, day before, about Dr. Beasley's NSP, which is nano surface prep polishes. They are not silicone or oil based. They are also a nanotechnology, just like the coatings. And the way I understand it, the way explained by Dr. Beasley, is that their polish actually enhances the bond between any ceramic and the paint. After watching several of their videos with one of their demonstrators, going around to detailers with it, the best analogy I can come up with is that since coatings need to be applied to bare virgin paint with nothing there on it but pure paint, or else they don't stick as well. It's like comparing using masking tape versus Velcro. Having bare paint is like using masking tape. It sticks, it holds, but after some exposure to the elements, the adhesive is going to break down and the tape's going to come off. With the Dr. Beasley's, since it actually enhances the bond between the coating and the paint, the Dr. Beasley's attaches to the paint and the coating attaches to the Dr. Beasley's. The Dr. Beasley's is like putting Velcro, the first layer of Velcro down on your car, and the coating is the second half of the Velcro. Now the Velcro itself has to break down before that bond is weakened. So that just makes a stronger bond, and according to Dr. Beasley, it dramatically enhances the lifespan of any coating. It doesn't matter what it is. So that's what I did. Instead of a panel wipe, I used the NSP surface prep to enhance and give this coating the best possible chances for success. Now I'm going to walk over and do the passenger side, and you won't hear me talking for a little bit. Okay, it must have flashed a little bit because although I saw it go down on the paint, and I did a crosshatch pattern to make sure of complete coverage, I can't see it on there anymore. But like everybody says, this is nanotechnology, extremely tiny particles. And just because you can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. So it's been a couple of minutes since I started. I'm in no hurry. There's no need to rush with this stuff. The removal time is not critical, at least not in 30-degree weather. Maybe 60, 70, 80-degree days it'll be different. But that's something we're going to have to wait probably a good month to find out when I do the other two cars that I normally do once a year, except for my wife's, who gets it almost as much as my car. So I'm going to grab the green in honor of St. Patrick's Day coming up microfiber, buff it off, give you a close-up view, take you off the tripod, and then I'll stop. And once everything's done, it's had a couple hours to cure and the sun comes out, or at least the day brightens if it's overcast, I'll do a walk around video and attach that to the end of this. Just if I didn't mention it before, this is a sponsored video. Anthony sent me the 3 products free of charge on their dime. So I have to claim this as a sponsored video. So here we go with the removal. I've already noticed that this time it's much slicker under the towel during the removal than on the first coat. Like I said, I can barely see I can't see any product at all on the hood, even before I wipe it down. And there are absolutely no high spots. There is no smearing, no streaking, no nothing, just a relatively perfect finish. And that's all there is to it. It's gone. It's done. And that's all there is to it. It's that easy. Let me take you off the tripod, and we'll give you some close-up looks. Now this car is a 2017, so it's about 7 years old. It currently has 81,000 miles on it, and it was fairly well cared for by the previous owner, just not to my standards. And if you can see by looking directly and around the light fixture in the ceiling, rock chips, don't worry about those. There is absolutely no streaking, hazing, nothing. That's a good shot. That would show everything. There's a scratch right there. So all in all, I am extremely impressed by this product. Even in the blue, I'm getting a good reflection of myself. Anthony says that the bottle of coating usually runs about $70. Would I buy this sight unseen, not having any experience with it? Maybe. I was seriously considering Can Coat by Geon, which is seems to be fairly similar in the application method, But even can coat has a timed removal that you should really stick with. This, up till now, to this point, there is no removal time requirements. As you saw, I took my time. No hurry, no rush. But I might buy it, even at that price. Because if you break it down per car and say you did get 8 cars out of one bottle, that's only maybe $10 per car. And depending on if you charge and what you charge, you can easily make back the cost of the bottle with one car. So if this holds up the way I hope it will, that'll make the $70 per bottle charge or cost negligible. I mean, it won't even make it an issue. Would I buy it now knowing what I do now? Absolutely. I'm not being paid by NXTZEN. I'm not getting anything special other than the care package with the products in it. I do not work for NXTZEN. I'm just an enthusiast sharing my experiences. So I'm going to end this here and give me a couple hours for the light to come out outside and to finish the car, and I'll get you a video of that. Until then. Well, Mother Nature came through. We got sun, and as you can see, we had snow yesterday. It's supposed to reach about 49, 50 degrees. And here's the car completed. 2 coats of NXTZEN 365 Pro. I'll give you a nice little walk around, the first walk around of the new one. And you can see the gloss is pretty much off the charts. Got almost as good a reflections as the black one. Neighbor's house with his satellite dish. All in all, I am extremely impressed with that NXTZEN coating, especially for the fact that it seemed to work quite well in freezing temperatures. If you have any questions, I will leave a link to NXTZEN USA. Hopefully Anthony Orozco will watch this video. I'm sending him the link and he'll chime in. But like I said, even in the hood, the reflections are almost as good as black. Really, the second coat of the coating went a lot faster because this time, having some experience with it, once I did the hood on video, I did the roof and the trunk, the whole thing, both sides of them, in one shot. And then I did the entire driver's side, then removed it. The entire passenger side, then removed it. And then the rear end and the front end. And I had absolutely no issues whatsoever. It's still, I consider it the easiest paint protection I have ever used. So here you go. I've got some brake dust issue with the powder coated wheels. I found a product that I might be using. I'll investigate it a little further. The Turtle Wax Hyperfoam wasn't quite enough. It cleaned them up real nice. They have been cared for, but again, not to my standards. So the next videos are probably going to be the interior protectant. And then when it's time for a wash, it will be the ceramic spray coating, aka the coating maintenance product. Let me know what you think.